North Carolina traveling to Miami. You're going to sit there and say, really? Miami? What they've done? Didn't they just lose to Middle Tennessee? Yes, all that's accurate, coming off a bye week, all this other stuff. But I actually think the winner of this game could potentially be the ACC Coastal champions. That's why, if you look at the numbers, and like I'm not all into the FPI and the statistics and the projections and all this stuff, but the statistics actually back this up. Miami is the lone ACC team so far. It's yet to play a conference game. So we're going to find out exactly where they're at. But currently, right now, according to most models' projections, Miami actually still has the highest chance to win the Coastal Division. Why is that? I'm not sure, but that's what the models indicate as of right now. Meanwhile, North Carolina is the second highest chance of winning the Coastal, and the winner of this game will actually have a greater than 50% chance of getting to the ACC championship game. So this is actually a very important game in regards to conference championship status. Now, North Carolina is actually 3-0 under Mac Brown, and they, of course, they're trying to go for 4 straight, and that would be the longest win streak by either team in series history. So possibility of pretty significant feat there if Mac Brown can get to 4-0. Against the Hurricanes, of course, the different Hurricane group, obviously different coach, different staff, all this other stuff. But either way, let's talk about North Carolina's offense going against Miami's defense. Drake May's been off the charts good, dude. This guy is phenomenal. Not only has he been great throwing the football, he's accounted for 22 touchdowns overall, 19 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, but he only has just 1 interception. So he's making great decisions as well. If you look at his total QBR, all the numbers support his efficiency. And I think he's going to be going against a defense that is somewhat gettable. However, the numbers would indicate that Miami's still pretty good, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But man, the last time out, they gave up 4 plays that went for at least 69 yards against Middle Tennessee State. Not good, right? They are a big play offense, North Carolina is, and if they can create the same type of explosiveness against Miami, then it could be tough sledding for the Hurricanes. The one thing Miami is doing well is they're generating an awful lot of pressure. 38% of opponents' dropbacks are being faced with pressure. That's the highest rate in the ACC, and that's the 6th highest rate in the FBS. Now, Drake May's still been pretty good, even while under duress. So he has yet to throw an interception. He's got 5 touchdowns under duress. And I think that that's something that needs to be taken into account. This is a young man that hasn't played a ton of football at this level. He's only a redshirt freshman, but he has handled pressure extremely well. The other thing, too, Miami's done very well this year is they've been pretty good against the run. They're the second best team in the ACC, allowing less than 3 yards per carry. Clemson's the best. They're sitting there at 2.4. Miami's the second best in regards to rush defense. They're allowing 2.8 yards per carry. So we'll see whether or not that gives, because we all know what happened a couple years back. The last time North Carolina visited Miami, what'd they run for? 544. That's right, 544. Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, pretty dang good 1-2 punch. Of course, I don't think that Miami fans have forgotten that performance. More on Miami's defense down the road, but we'll figure them out down the road. I don't know where they're at exactly right now. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they okay? I'm not sure. We'll find out. I do think Miami's offense has their issues. Now, they've been without top 2 running backs, top 2 wide receivers, and a tight end. So they've been without a lot of playmakers. There's some rumors that they might be getting healthier this week, coming off the bye. Not sure at this point what the availability will be for some of those guys that are missing some time. Van Dyke has been the main issue at quarterback. Last year, he was awesome. This year, not so much. He's posted a 41 total QBR this season. That's 12th out of 14 in the ACC. Think about that. This guy was talked about being a first-round pick, and he's 12th out of 14 in the ACC. And if you look at how he played against Middle Tennessee, it was probably his worst performance of the year, if we're going to be completely honest. It was his lowest QBR total as a starter. And he will have an opportunity now to rebound against a defense that has been extremely gettable this year. North Carolina struggled. However, North Carolina, the last time out against Virginia Tech, and granted, take it with a grain of salt, it's Virginia Tech, they finally looked halfway decent on that side of the ball. Now, a lot was talked about in the offseason. The hire of Jane Chizik, it did not pay dividends in the first few games, but last week maybe they're starting to take strides in the right direction. They allowed Grant Wells last week just to throw for 139 passing yards. So maybe they're taking steps. I do think that Van Dyke needs to be more aggressive. He's not taking the shots downfield that he was attempting last year. course, Josh Gaddis, new offensive coordinator. Maybe they're just not meshing all that well right now. But Van Dyke looks at times apprehensive when it comes to cutting it loose. A little bit like Spencer Rattler last year prior to him getting replaced. So hopefully Van Dyke can come out of his funk because the kid's a very, very talented player. I lean North Carolina in the game because I haven't seen enough from Miami. But either way, this will be a very important game here when it comes to deciding the division.
If it's North Carolina that wins, like how does Mario Cristobal kind of rally the fan base and the team to pick up for the rest of November and the year after a 3-game losing streak nobody really saw coming?
Ain't going to happen this year. I mean, the fan
they
base,
were ranked 16 though. I mean, so they people think in Van Dyke coming back and like all these things were coming out, but I don't know. So what do you see from them if they lose this game?
I mean, they're in trouble. I mean, but it's a transition year. I mean, it's year one of a new regime. I'm not going to really evaluate where Cristobal is right now based on what he's done through 5 games in the year. Like, it's been bad, sure. The performance against Middle Tennessee defensively was awful. The performance against A&M offensively was awful. Maybe they can get things going in the right direction. But at this point, man, I have low expectations for what I'm seeing from Miami. Maybe they can get back on track. I hope they can, because we had all left, Notre Dame for dead, and the get right recipe was playing against North Carolina. So we'll see. Fingers crossed that things can get going in the right direction for the Hurricanes.